Well, I've never been to London.
I have.
You have.
I plan on going again.
I actually never read Mary Poppins book.
I haven't either.
I read, there was this picture book when I was a kid that pretty much summarized the whole thing without many words.
You gotta love the picture books, man. You gotta love the picture books.
I think it was like one of the first things that you had to read in the first grade of elementary school, you know, when you're 7 years old, you still don't know any letters, and it's like they make you like read the books, but it's mostly just pictures. I remember that, but it wasn't until many years later that I actually saw the original musical by Disney with Julie Andrews in it. And I think it was also, I've seen Mary Poppins after I saw I keep forgetting the name of in the English, but the musical with the children and World War II.
Sound of Music?
Yeah, Sound of Music. And I got the Croatian name in my head though. I was like,
which is?
Yeah, Moje pjesme, moj snot.
Ah, yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Sound of Music.
Yeah, Sound of Music. And you know, it's like, so when I saw Mary Poppins and I realized this was the
actress.
Yeah, Julie Andrews is the woman from the Sound of Music. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, she can sing. She's a great actress. I like her. Whatever, you know. It's like, let's watch this. I don't know. To me, it was nothing spectacular. Nothing. I mean, I like this sheer spectacle of it. The artist aspect of it, like artistic aspect, like all these weird worlds, you know, and it was like kind of like Alice in Wonderland, like that kind of, but better, because I hate Alice in Wonderland. I hate absolutely everything about Alice in Wonderland, the book, the cartoon, Disney animated movie as well, the new movies. There's nothing I like about them. Like, I hate Alice in Wonderland. If I could, it's one of those books that I would burn and let history forget. Okay? But
well, that's not happening anytime
soon. So whatever. So to me, Mary Poppins is kind of like you know, Wonderland kind of thing, because you have all these worlds that she takes you to, and all these things that she does that are out of this world, and just the way she behaves, you know, for a nanny, it's just out of this world, you know. It's
so outworldly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she's an alien, and somehow she got stuck. You know, she's just, I don't know. There's these species of people in the universe, you know.
They float on umbrellas.
And for some reason, their world exploded very much like Krypton did. And for some reason, they're all good, and they all ended up here. And they the only living, you know, alien species that came, but they acclimated to the world here. But still, there's this thing. They just have a little bit of magic about them, you know. They make this world better, you know. That's Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews in Mary Poppins. And so, you know, 50 years later, yeah.
The eye of the child.
And you know, I'm gonna skip the whole, you know, Walt Disney controversy, because, you know, the writer of the book reluctantly, you know, she was very protective of her work, and she very reluctantly, you know, decided to...
Which was also deciphered in another Walt Disney movie.
Which is pretty good, yeah.
Which is pretty spectacular to watch as well.
And you know, many people grew up on Mary Poppins, many people love it, and that's fine. I don't really hate it, I don't necessarily love it. I think it's an okay movie.
Honestly, I had to rewatch it. I know we rewatched it with the kids a couple of years ago. But I don't remember much about it. I remember certain things because we watched it when we were little, but then we watched it.
We watched it over the years a few times.
But I really don't remember much about it.
But I watch people on the internet, you know, like the Nostalgia Critic, like he grew up on that movie. Like when he was living in Italy, for example, that's the only movie he had on VHS that was in English, and he pretty much he pretty much wore the tape out, and he loves it, you know. So it's like, you know, there are people like that who absolutely adore the movie, everything about it. To me, it's like, okay, it's like there's a few quotes like "spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go."
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
mean, hey man.
Says the woman with the head in the cloud.
Yeah, so. What kind of sugar is she talking about? Oh man, but anyway.
These are kids we're dealing with, man.
Oh man, yeah, we've been watching too much, you know, Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy lately, but whatever. Anyways,
Sugar. I love sugar, man.
me too. We drink a lot of Coke though. Take that as you will. We don't do drugs though. We don't do drugs.
Yeah, but sugar and Coke,
oh man, dude.
can't tell the difference. You know, white powder and the...
Anyway, so scroll, forward, fast forward. 50
Couple of years back,
50 years
they
later,
announced
they're gonna make a new.
They're
movie.
not gonna remake it. They're gonna...
Yeah, that was the thing.
It's gonna be a continuing story.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's a classic, so you can't remake it.
And it's Julie Andrews and it's Dick Van Dyke.
Exactly. So it's like...
And Dick Van Dyke is an icon in and of himself, not
And now he's
necessarily
like
to the
90
rest of the
whatever.
world, not necessarily to the rest of the world, as much as it is to, because he was in comedy and he did lots of stuff in US that never made its way over here. So to us, he's not necessarily a
We
legend.
don't know, but he's an iconic character.
And yeah,
That iconic that even though they decided to continue the story of Mary Poppins, they had to bring him in. Even though he's almost 100.
and who's gonna play? Julie Andrews is no longer with us. Like, who's gonna
Exactly,
play
so
Mary
you can't-
Poppins? And it's like, whoever
Because there's
plays
so
it,
many
can they sing?
questions. And can you live up to the Julie Andrews
Yeah, because she's a goddess. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
and enter Emily Blunt?
Blunt. Who's
like-
she made the name
like
for
she
herself.
did movies, she's a good actor, but can she pull off Mary Poppins? Like
She's
that's-
British too. So yeah.
She can. She does.
I
She's Mary Poppins. I know Yondu is Mary Poppins. Emily's Mary Poppins. I know you didn't watch the movie.
I had to skip that one too.
This
unfortunately.
movie is phenomenal. Bringing in
Because by the
man,
time I got money to go see it, it was out of the and
it's playing in Cineplex and in mall. Just so you know.
I might go there, but
Just so
it's
you know.
like okay.
No, mall
Let's-
is also most.
Okay,
They play
whatever.
at the mall.
Okay.
So you don't have to go to Cineplex.
Yeah, whatever, man. So
But whoever figured out that bringing in Lin-Manuel Miranda to do this thing is a freaking genius. Like, give him a statue, an Oscar in itself, because bringing in Lin...
well,
Miranda,
you know
the-
as well as I do that casting directors are not getting any nominations this
Why?
year, nor awards. So
Why?
I have no idea, man. We're gonna talk about all that in our Oscar previews.
I don't
video
know who figured out, hey, let
next month. So,
Lin do this. And Lin, of course, made the name for himself with the
I've
Hamilton
never
musical.
seen him as an actor though. Like I know he wrote all the songs for Moana. I know he does stuff for Broadway. I know
He kind of made a name for himself with Hamilton, which I watched in London. The
Yeah, I
London
know.
production of it. Hamilton is... Because I listened to some of the songs before I watched. And none of that stuff
But
made
he
sense.
did other songs for Disney too. So it's
Oh, yeah.
like he's a singer. I mean, he's a songwriter definitely. I know
He's
that
a
about. But it's
songwriter
like I've never seen him.
More than an actor. But there's a certain dose of acting you have to do if you're going to do on Broadway. If you're going to be on Broadway, you got to know how to act.
Definitely, man.
They're not going to just let you do stuff just because you can write.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be able to act. And Mary Poppins Returns is a musical.
Okay.
So this is the main. Singing and dancing, he can do that. Like, doesn't take a lot of acting to sing and dance. Or a lot less acting than it does actually to act. Not to take anything away from Lin. Lin is a fabulous actor in this one. But the whole story is like, the story is beautiful. I know I saw this, but in a different aspect than I said the Mortal Engines was.
Okay.
It's
so
just-
it's a different kind of a movie.
You gotta watch it from the eye of a child.
Of course.
You had to keep that wonder because like she makes an entrance, not with an umbrella but with a kite. And
The
it's-
first movie definitely ended with kites. So yeah.
And they bring the kite back. This one they end on balloons, but it's a whole nother story. It's just a fun movie, like the story of Banks' children growing up. The wife dies, and now Mr. Banks, he's got 3 kids that he's supposed to take care of. His sister is there to help him. The housekeeper is still there from the first movie, if she was there in the first movie.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah, and
I'm sure
he
they
works in a bank, and
they brought
Banks,
different actors though, right?
and yeah, and the bank's gonna take the house, and they had to fight to save the house, and then Mary Poppins shows up, and it's like there's this whole one gripe I have this movie, and it's so big of a gripe, I can't...
Okay, what is it?
What's her name?
Whose?
Meryl Streep. Why is she in this movie?
Who's she playing in the movie?
Mary Poppins' cousin. Topsy-turvy. Every second Wednesday of the month, her house turns upside down.
Okay.
It makes no sense to have her in this movie. Lynn's character, he's the lantern guy.
Right, the Dick Van Dyke's character, yeah.
And he's also little Johnny from the first movie who cleaned chimneys.
Right.
So it's like everything's tied in together except Meryl Streep. Why is she in the movie? I still don't know.
Does her character make any...
No!
So we have like...
I mean, it does, because they broke the vase thing, the bowl. They broke the bowl and they had to fix the bowl, and the bowl was priceless, except it wasn't, because it's a cheap bowl, but it was priceless to their mother. And Meryl Streep is the only one who can fix it. And the whole sequence still doesn't make sense, because she's not mentioned before they go and see her. She's just there, and then she's never mentioned again. Like, literally, somebody was writing this thing, and they said, oh, you know what we should do? We should put Meryl Streep in this movie. They were like, why? There's no... Well, we can just write her a character. Will it make sense? Well, it's Meryl Streep, so it makes sense. Well, does the character make sense? If anybody else played it, will it make sense? No! But it's Meryl Streep. So it will make sense if it's Meryl. Yes. But it makes no sense whatsoever otherwise. No. Well, then we just have to write it in and put Meryl Streep in it. Yes, then it will make sense.
Does this sound anything like Alice in Wonderland to you?
Yes. No.
To me, it makes perfect...
Because in Alice in Wonderland, everything is upside down. So when I say yes, I mean no. When I say no, I mean yes. Sometimes you have a different... Oh my God.
I can see this is
It's a beautiful... Oh, it's a big issue. You have no idea.
You see why I hate Alice in Wonderland now? Why
No, it has nothing to do with Alice.
To me, everything you described, it's... Dude, it's literally...
It has to do with...
It's why I hate the whole Wonderland
It has
thing.
to do with
So,
the whole last 5 years of Meryl Streep's career. Off screen. And the fact that she's on screen, that she has to politicize everything, that everything has to be politically correct. It doesn't, it's acting.
Okay.
And she's a great actress. The part that she's in, she played it beautifully. But if it wasn't
Did
Meryl
she sing?
Streep, yes, with this raspy old voice, they make no singing sense whatsoever.
Okay.
But it's Meryl Streep. If anybody else played their role would not exist. That sequence in the movie would not exist. Even if they taped it, they'd be like, holy crap, we taped this, why? Let's burn this. But somebody was like, well, it's Meryl Streep, so if Meryl Streep does it, it makes sense. It won't.
I'm so glad I brought up Alice in Wonderland at the beginning of this video because everything is tying up really nicely together.
Other than, even the whole bowl thing, children go to the bowl. They actually entered into the bowl's world, and it's a beautiful sequence. Sequence makes sense. Except for Meryl Streep shows up 10 minutes after they leave the bowl because somebody has to fix the broken bowl. And it ruins the movie. It ruins the movie. The movie is ruined.
Is there like a somewhere between the beginning and the half, around the half, between the half and the ending?
It's like it's the halfway point of the movie. You're into the story. You're having fun. I'm literally singing. I'm there, I'm in my own role, there's nobody behind me, nobody in front of me. Well, nobody behind me for at least like 3 rows. I can have fun, I'm into this movie, I'm singing, I'm like, alright. And it's great. And then Meryl Streep shows up and I'm like, why? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot because it's Meryl Streep. In my eyes, Meryl Streep's still a great actor.
She is.
But you can't bring politics into your characters just because you want to
politicize. Is that what
politicize.
happens?
Last 5 years of her career, yeah.
But
everything. I don't know. It's tainted.
Because of the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, if Meryl Streep didn't play the topsy-turvy character, that character would not be in the movie. So when I was looking at the opening credits, when I saw Meryl Streep, I'm intrigued at this point because I'm like, okay, I kind of feel like I know something about this movie, so I kind of wonder where they're gonna cast Meryl Streep's character. Until they actually show her on screen, I'm like, why is it even here? Because he plays no vital part in the movie whatsoever, other than the fact that he puts Meryl Streep into the movie.
Well, what about the ball?
Ball made sense because the kids found out it was priceless to their mother, but it didn't have any value. It was priceless to their mother because of the story that's tied into it, but it wasn't valuable. It was just priceless to their mother. He had, what's the name? Sentimental
value, yeah.
Which you did not need Meryl Streep singing to get you there. It was really self-explanatory. But no, we had
But
to
would
have
the
Meryl
ball
Streep.
be, I mean, did Meryl Streep, did she put the ball back together?
No, she just told him it's not valuable at all.
And that's it?
I don't even remember if she fixed the ball. I don't think she even fixed the ball.
Because to me that's kind of important, like...
it's not, because she never fixed the ball.
Because I can see why you're so upset. Because if they brought her in to fix the ball and she couldn't, and she just told him that it's kind of, you know, waste of time and money. Yeah. Well, not to Meryl Streep though. I mean, I'm sure she got paid.
She got paid.
Those 5 minutes.
You gotta keep cashing them checks, man. Keep cashing them checks.
Oh man.
And then, first and foremost, it's a musical. It's beautiful done. Colin.
Trevorrow?
No, Colin
Firth
does a fantastic job of a villain. When he enters into the movie, you know he's a villain. When he's being all nice, you know he's the villain. Like, he's a villain. You know it. He's perfect. He's beautiful.
Okay, so I saw the trailer for this movie, and there is like 1 or 2 seconds in the trailer where Dick Van Dyke shows up. What's his cameo like?
Beautiful. He shows up at the end. He's like 98, 315. I don't even care. He jumps up on the table. He's singing. He's dancing. He's beautiful, man. His cameo, because here's the thing. I know they were going to give him a cameo, and the whole movie I was waiting for that cameo. When the cameo shows up, I was not disappointed. You remember Christopher Robin movie?
Of course.
At the end, where he's with the kids and he brings the whole, let's make the suitcases. It was a similar ending here. It was a beautiful ending. Everything made it was a beautiful movie, other than the 11.5 minute sequence, because I have really no idea how much time Meryl Streep was singing. Other than that sequence in the movie, it's a beautiful movie. It's a perfect movie. I'm gonna watch that movie. When I rewatch that movie, I'm gonna fast forward to the Meryl Streep part, because it really is not necessary in this movie. And it takes away from the movie only for Meryl Streep to show up. That's not worth it. Emily Blunt, I cannot sing enough praises for her. She is perfect. Lin-Manuel Miranda, hats off. Like, I'm pretty sure he had the hands in writing the songs for the stuff.
Definitely, man.
Because I think that's why they brought him in here, and he was perfect. The whole musical aspect of it, the grown-up Banks children, the brother and the sister.
Yeah.
I know both their characters from other stuff that they did, but I don't know their names. They were perfect. The young kids, the 3 Banks children in this movie, they were great kids. The way they involved everybody. The guy that was the groundskeeper for the park, he was freaking involved. Like, they made sure the neighbor with the dog, she was the guy that delivers milk.
One more important question. Were there chimney sweeps?
No, they weren't. But it didn't take anything away from the movie, because everything was lantern oriented.
Okay.
And it was so fun.
We like lanterns.
Yes. And then Judi
Dench
shows up at the end, and even her cameo is beautiful. Like, everything. Other than that sequence with Meryl Streep. It's a beautiful movie. Go watch the movie. You can take your kids to go see it. You can see your babies to go see this movie. Like, you can take your, like, 95-year-old grandma to go see this movie. It's a beautiful, perfect movie. Other than the Meryl Streep part. Hence the rating of 21. Take the Meryl Streep out of it, it's probably like 26. That's how much I liked it. Kid in me enjoyed it. Kid in me had so much fun watching this movie. I will not regret watching this movie in the theater. other than the Meryl Streep sequence. Just,
Okay, man.
she's still a fabulous actor. I will say this, but it's a great movie. Go see this movie. I think it's still playing because it came out like 3 weeks ago, less than a month ago.
Last year.
And it's worth watching. It's a beautiful movie, other
Okay.
than the Meryl Streep sequence, but it's worth watching, and it's worth watching on the big screen.
You know now
It's gonna awaken the child in you.
You know now that when I go watch that movie, the only thing I'm gonna look forward to is that Meryl Streep performance, man.
I know, man. I know. You can do without that, but go watch this movie. You will not regret it. It's a beautiful movie.
Okay.
Go watch. That's it from us till next time.
Yeah. Bash Bros out.